October 1st, 1960, Nigeria gained independence. Today, it's Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary, and we have a special. Today, we have Nigeria's Honorable Minister for Works and Housing. He came on the scene in 2007 as the governor of Lagos State in Nigeria's southwest region. Then, Nigeria was just 47. Today, Nigeria is 60, and we're asking, how has it been so far? Mr. Babatunde Fashola, good to have you join us on the special on News Central.
Good to be with you.
Today, Nigeria is still standing as one united nation. Perhaps you want to tell us why 60 together?
I think the word together really symbolizes what the currency of today must be. Everybody wants a better Nigeria, and a better Nigeria means different things to different people. But I think that the word together provides a rallying point around which everybody then hopefully develops a sense of ownership and a duty to participate in making the Nigeria that he or she wants to see. It cannot just be somebody's responsibility alone. It must be our responsibility, and we must act together. So whether it's as we fight COVID, we must act together. Whether as we fight criminals, we must fight together. Whether as we build the infrastructure, we must build it together. Whether we take 100 million people out of poverty, we must work together to build the prosperity so that it can become a shared prosperity. And I think it's the most appropriate word for the moment.
I'm happy you mentioned infrastructure, and that is why I would like to ask, from 1960 to date, are you excited about the remarkable, infrastructure Nigeria has at the moment?
I think the thing that is true is that our economy and our population has grown faster than the rate of deployment of the infrastructure. That's what is true. So, and I liken that perhaps to not renewing your clothing as you grow older. So it's like trying to wear at 50 or 60 the teenage clothes you wore when you were 16 or 17. They won't fit at all, and if you manage to get into them, you'll probably be very uncomfortable. I don't know any country that has 4 major seaports on the continent, but they were built in the 70s, some in the mid-60s, so we've outgrown some of them. Some, the runway, still good and needs an upgrade, which is all what we're dealing with now. Probably need to build more terminal buildings so that it can deal with the tonnage and the growth of the economy and passenger traffic. So we're heading in the right direction now with the focus on infrastructure and agri and some other items.
If you look at it, I'm trying to look at your time as governor in 2007 and till this moment where Nigeria is celebrating 60. Has there been, are you excited about the kind of progress? Looking at what you've just highlighted, would we have covered more areas, or you think, well, we're running at the best of speed?
Well, there's always room for improvement. Governance is the art of the possible. And but again, if you reflect deeply, you will see what has happened. I was governor when we celebrated 50, and if you ask me, there was no Lekki Link Bridge at the time. So it's now a major item of infrastructure. There was no train service, passenger train service in Nigeria in 2010. The Abuja-Kaduna train service is now on. The link from Lagos to Ibadan will soon complement it, and the link from Kanu to Ibadan will soon complement. That's progress.
If you sit in a hall with, filled with young Africans who are who haven't actually seen anything, beautiful about Nigeria celebrating 60, apart from what you've highlighted, how can you make them, have renewed hope for your country in Nigeria?
As I said before, the currency of every good government must be hope. That's what we trade in. That's what we deal in. That's what we must never lose. And so I would say to those younger people, yes, I agree with them, but the answer is not to point out the problems alone. The answer is also to find the responsibility. Where can you play a role? And this is why, again, I go back to the theme of the independence celebrations, which is together. What can I do? You don't need a title to serve. There's so many little things everybody can do in his community, in his home, in his family, that adds up. So, but here's what it is. The things that they can do today on their phones, on their handheld devices, they couldn't do in 2010. Here, in this same country. WhatsApp was not as versatile then as it is now. I installed WhatsApp then and I deleted it way back then. But now, almost nobody can live without it except people like me who won't change. I don't use it. So, but it's a life itself, and progress is a very dynamic and continuing effort. And I just want to say to them, never to lose hope. There's a role for everybody, especially them, to play. And they have roles to play in what happens in their immediate community, because the aggregate of the communities make the state, the aggregate of the states make the country. And therefore, this is a great place, a great country, and it can only be as good as we want to make it. It won't be as good as we expect only one person or a few people to make it. We must all come together to make the Nigeria we want.
So before we wrap this up, looking at some of the things you've highlighted, infrastructural development and things that are working today in Nigeria, in the next 40 or 20 years, what is it that you will see when you sit back to look at your dear country, Nigeria, from today, 20 years, when Nigeria turns 80, what are the likely things you will see?
Let me speak to the area that I have immediate responsibility for first, which is the infrastructure. I have a responsibility to play along with other ministers of transport, communication, aviation, and so on, for the totality of Nigeria's infrastructure. In the next few years, we will have the quantity and the quality of the kind of infrastructure that gives us a competitive edge again. We will have 5 competitive 21st century type airports, terminal buildings again. We will have completed a substantial number of the road network that we have committed to. We will have a rail network that evacuates cargo from the nation's largest port. And so you will see less trucks, you will see less fuel tankers on our highways, and our roads will then last longer. We will have much more efficient passenger rail service on an interstate basis, starting from Lagos all the way through to Kano, when the end between Ilorin and Abuja is completed and the end between Lagos and Ibadan is completed. You will have a seamless ride, and you see Itakpe, Jakuta, and all of those links are also coming up. So I see that future already in my mind's eye. As we complete this, you will have increased broadband connectivity to the last mile, to schools, to villages, to communities. All of this I am involved in directly or with my colleagues. So I know what it's going to look like earlier than the 20 years you are talking about. So the pieces are beginning to fit into place. And as I said, life is beginning to change in terms of that experience, even whilst we are still building. So by the time we are done, you will see the Nigeria that you want to see in terms of services and infrastructure. But there's still another Nigeria. How we embrace that Nigeria, how we use those services. Do we use them with a sense of duty or with a sense of right only? All of us must focus more now on our duties. We all know our rights, but we talk less about our duties. We all owe duties to ourselves, to our neighbors, to our communities, to our states, to our local governments, and more importantly, to our country and to our flag. How do we speak about our country? How do we see what is Nigeria? Is it inferior to other places? That is a mindset that is going to take some time to change, but it's a mindset that must change.
Babatunde Fashola, many thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.